play, pray, and even present, like myself. Many aspects of our lives have changed. We bring you the stories. This is Correspondence Diary. Lockdowns, movement control orders, large-scale social restrictions. And here in Singapore, it's called circuit breaker. But they all have the same objective, to stop the spread of COVID-19 and save lives. As the world grapples with the pandemic, life has changed for many. For Muslims, it's a different Ramadan this time round. No mass gatherings for prayers and breaking fast. But the spirit of Ramadan, the month of giving and sacrifice, still lives on in many communities.
It is near lunchtime and food stall owner Siti Marfua is busy preparing food packets. She's giving out 100 food packets to poor residents in West Jakarta who have been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Dan belum bulan puasa ini, insya Allah saya berikhtiar tetap membuka warung saya karena melihat kondisi yang sekarang yang lingkungan saya hadapi itu memang benar-benar membutuhkan makanan. Saya bertekad, alhamdulillah mudah-mudahan saya bisa ikut membantu saudara-saudara saya, tetangga-tetangga saya.
Safe distancing does not apply here. These residents have lost their livelihoods following the large-scale social restriction measures imposed in the capital. Most are odd-job laborers. The Indonesian government estimates up to 3.7 million of its citizens could fall into poverty on the back of the coronavirus outbreak. This food stall is among 1,000 others in Jakarta and neighboring satellite cities who have collaborated with humanitarian organization Aksi Cepat Tangkap or ACT in this free food program. ACT says it expects more people who need help this year because of the pandemic.
Kita perkirakan itu akan naik sekitar hampir 3 atau 4 kali lipat dari yang sebelumnya kita lakukan di tahun-tahun kemarin. Sekarang kita ngelola mereka yang berpuasa. Yang kedua, kita membantu mereka yang hari ini kena PHK. Yang ketiga, kita membantu mereka yang ada di rumah sakit yang sedang bertugas, baik medis, tentara, di rumah sakit darurat, termasuk pasien dan keluarganya.
While charity organizations brace for a busy Ramadan and the months that follow, mosques across Indonesia are facing a different reality. For the first time in its 42-year-old history, Istiqlal, Indonesia's national mosque, falls silent. If not for the coronavirus outbreak, Ramadan will see Istiqlal bursting with activities from breaking of fast to nightly prayers. Thousands would throng the biggest mosque in Southeast Asia. However, some mosques in areas considered still under control from the outbreak will remain open. The Religious Affairs Ministry has issued guidelines for Ramadan.
Dalam pelaksanaan ibadah puasa tersebut kita berharap buka puasa bersama ditiadakan, sholat taraweh dilaksanakan di rumah masing-masing, kemudian nuzulul Quran juga akan ditiadakan, begitu juga pelaksanaan tadarus di masjid akan ditiadakan.
It will not be easy for the 225 million Indonesian Muslims, but adapt they must, especially when the country is under national disaster status. Indonesians are known to be resilient people having faced various challenges in the past. This pandemic is another one, unprecedented, which for Muslims has a spiritual dimension during this Ramadan that needs to be embraced and overcome.
Kuala Lumpur's oldest mosque, Masjid Jami' Sultan Abdul Samad, lies where two rivers meet and become one. A British architect, Arthur Hubeck, designed it, and it was built by Indian traders in the early 1900s. The muezzin of the mosque says its rich and colourful history is a magnet for worshippers.
Saya begitu sayang dengan masjid ini kerana penduduknya atau para jemaahnya sentiasa silih berganti. Ada pernah datang daripada Amerika, ada yang datang daripada Iran, ada yang datang daripada Arab Saudi. Walaupun masjid ini begitu lama, tapi dia tetap utuh berdiri megah di Kuala Lumpur ini.
Masjid Jame has stayed largely unchanged in size and structure, despite several renovations to repair damage caused by floods over the years. Today, this mosque provides a glimpse into the city's past because it sits right at the confluence of the two rivers, said to be the birthplace of Kuala Lumpur. Now, in the Malay language, the term means muddy river mouth. Muhammad Hafiz Arif has served as Muazzin of Masjid Jame for 8 years. He says the fasting month of Ramadan has always been the busiest time of the year for the mosque, but now the COVID-19 pandemic has rendered it eerily quiet.
Saya terasa sunyi dengan tiadanya gelak ketawa daripada mereka, dan saya anggap kadang-kadang dengan diorang ni sebagai pakcik saya sendiri, sebagai ahli keluarga saya sendiri.
The mosque had lined up a series of activities from evening prayers to feasting with the elderly, orphans and homeless in the city. But all the planning stopped when the government imposed a movement control order to contain the spread of COVID-19. Attendance at mosques across the country were also limited to 4. Despite the partial lockdown, Muhammad Hafiz and mosque leader Imam Luqman Abdul Majid continue with their call to prayers 5 times a day.
Semua kita doa-doakan semoga diangkat penyakit COVID-19 tu secepat mungkin dan boleh duduk dalam keadaan.
Barely 20 years old, Imam Luqman is reaching out to millions of Muslims who are staying home this Ramadan to pray together online, echoing calls from Religious Affairs Minister Dr. Zulkifli Muhammad for the Muslim community to stay positive and be thankful. With the movement control order extended till May 12, many city dwellers are quietly hoping to travel back to their hometowns where their parents await, just as Masjid Jame patiently awaits its worshippers.
On the first day of Ramadan, the historic Jama Masjid is completely deserted. The call to prayer still being made, but worshippers unable to come and perform the prayers. The gateway to India's largest mosque locked and boarded up. Outside, police officers enforced the strict lockdown, even as the Imam of Jama Masjid urged Indian Muslims to stay inside their homes. Most residents of this area step out for a few hours every day to get supplies. Families that have lived in this part of Old Delhi for generations are sad that for the first time in decades, they'll not be able to perform the prayers at Jama Masjid. Others say that this Ramadan, the sense of community is missing.
यहाँ तो भाई पैर रखने की भी जगह नहीं होती, और अब आप अपने आप दिखाई सकते हैं इस वक्त कैसा माहौल होया हुआ है, कुछ है ही नहीं. हमें तो ऐसा लगा जैसे पुरानी दिल्ली, जैसे कि दिल्ली ही नहीं है इस वक्त.
Jama Masjid was built in the 17th century by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. It can accommodate over 20,000 people, making it one of the largest mosques in Asia. In previous years, during Ramadan, these would be the scenes, thousands gathering to perform the prayers and break their fast. One of the casualties of the COVID-19 outbreak has been religious practices. Ramadan is also the time where many people travel back to their hometowns to spend time with their families, but India's 40-day lockdown with all road, rail and air travel banned has also meant that many are separated from their loved ones. The Indian government has indicated that the nationwide shutdown could go on beyond the 3rd of May, which could mean that for many even Eid will be a somber affair. Arbab is hoping that won't be the case. He's stranded 900 kilometers away from home and is unsure when he'll be able to return. The only way to keep in touch with his family is through regular video calls. They even break their fast together online.
Like around sunset, we'll sit together, have a video call, and we anyway thought that we should keep talking this time. So it's just nice morale boost also.
For now, Indian Muslims are counting down to when normality returns, to when they can stand shoulder to shoulder to pray.
From how they worship to how they work, I'll bring you a look at how a typical day for some in Singapore has changed when Correspondent's Diary returns.
ーの、はい。
してますね。
そんな感じするよね。どれがいいかな。これ？
この歯がいいからですね。
とりあえずこれをもらっていいですか。
今食べなくて。
はい。あ、うまい。
あ、バナナも食べちゃった。
いや、これでも綺麗な夕日だね。
Japan Hour